Hi guys, welcome to a haul video because I recently went to London and I wanted to do a haul, mostly a book haul because that's what I buy when I'm in London, or I tend to. And yeah, I think we should get started immediately. I have a few things to show and yeah, let's begin. I think the first place I got something was the National Theatre. I could be so wrong, but I'm too lazy to look it up. And there I got this book, which is Hamlet. And I've read this book already, but I read it on my Kindle. So I have the digital version and I don't have a physical copy, and it's so good. And when the movie came out, I obviously went to see it and it was breathtaking. Like, I think they were like different in a sense of like why they were good. Like, the story is followed very well. Of course there's differences, there's always differences just in terms of like the experience. Like, a reading experience is not the same as a movie experience, and also like the way you tell a story and like how you interpret a story from a book and like everything like that. For those who doesn't know what it's about, it's basically about Shakespeare's son, and how he was potentially inspired by him. His name was Hamlet for his play Hamlet. So it's a fictional story. It's a fictional speculation, I would say, by the author Maggie O'Farrell. And it's really, really fantastic. You should both read the book and watch the movie. I don't remember the actress's name right now, but she did win an Oscar. I think she also won like a BAFTA, which was well deserved. I really was hoping she would win because it was really like the kind of thing when you're watching her perform and you're like, not only is it Oscar winning, it was just like so realistic. Like, you're snapped out of it being a movie and like you kind of like feel like you're just experiencing it in real time. Like, it was like, and also, when you're kind of stunned and you're like, because when you're watching a movie, like, obviously if it's a good movie, you don't realize that you're in the theater and that you're watching a movie, like, you're dragged into it. But most of the time, even when I'm in the cinema, like, I enjoy being in the cinema, so I'm aware that I'm in the cinema. But here, I could feel that everybody was not uncomfortable, but like, everybody's kind of like, oh, like, realizing that we're actually, like, it feels like watching a real life experience in front of you, but it's, a movie. Anyway, and so the cover is beautiful. I'm so happy to have a physical copy because it is a fantastic novel and I need it physical, but also the fact that it's the movie poster with, wow, it feels wrong that I know that it's Paul Mescal, but I don't remember the woman's name, the actress's name. Oh wait, here, maybe it says here. Jessie Buckley, there we go. Jessie Buckley. And it was directed by Chloe Zhao. Yeah, a really, really, really great book and book and movie. Anyway, let's move on. I got also, well, actually, let me start with the books and then I'll move on to the postcards because I have a postcards obsession and I got a bunch of them, so I'll do them separately. The next place I went was Down Books, which is my favorite bookstore, I think, in London. And they do really nice tote bags. I have two of them, one pink one and one green one. This time I got like the one that they give to you for free. I'm too lazy to show them, but they're very pretty anyway. And it's just like it's just a great place. It's beautiful. It's in one of my favorite areas. And yeah, they have so many fun things that I cannot find in Sweden nor in Paris nor on the internet, unless, it is also soulless sometimes to buy books like on the internet. I tend to buy I read a lot of fantasy, so I buy the classics in terms of fantasy or like famous books that are always available everywhere in every store. But when I'm in London, I try to really take books that I wouldn't have gotten anyway and copies that look a little bit special, or like maybe something that I can't obviously find on like Amazon or like because like there's obviously English bookstores in Paris, but like the selection in London or in the UK is just like incredible. So I get a little crazy. I did get two books from this place that was kind of on my reading list, so I could technically have ordered them, but they were in front of me, so I just got them. And it's an opportunity for me when I'm in London to like not feel guilty about spending money on books. Even though I never really feel guilty, but I go on a shopping spree when I'm in London. So I take the opportunity to do that. So the two ones that I got is The Will of the Many. And I guess it's a series. I don't know if it's trilogy or duology or whatever, but it's called Hierarchy, and this is book 1. Looks like this. And I've heard great things about it. I haven't read too much, like, about what it's about, because I don't want to, I kind of like going into certain stuff with a blind eye. Oh yeah, it's, no, the author has made it the Licanius trilogy. I'm gonna assume it's a trilogy. It tends to be trilogies. I feel like that's more common. But either way, got that one. Then I got, this is a debut novel by Florence Knapp. Oh yeah, this one is by James Islington. I never read books by men. Not to sound like super feminist, but it's like, that really never happens. When was the last time I read a book? If it wasn't for, like, uni. Anyway, okay, that was a man apparently. And it's called The Names by Florence Knapp. This is her debut novel. And it was on the list for, like, best debut novels of her year, which I don't know which year this was. I think it was, like, 2023 or 2024. Could have even been 2025, to be honest. I really like the cover. I like the colors. I'm not going too much into about what they're about, unless I obviously know, because sometimes, like I say, I like to go into things blindly, but what I understood from this one, like I said, it was on the list of best debut novels, and I think it's about a person that kind of, it says like this: 7 years later, her son is Bear, a name chosen by his sister, hoping he will grow up to be brave and big-hearted, or he is Julian, the name his mother set her heart on, keen for him to become his own person, or he is Gordon, named after his father and raised in his cruel image, but is there still a chance to break the mold? So I guess it follows someone that will have different names and then therefore live different fates based off that name. So I think it's supposed to be kind of about how important names are and how they shape us and like things like that. So it just seems really interesting. I don't need a lot to pull me in, to be honest. Like, I like to read different things and explore different genres, so I'm excited to read that. Then I got 4 other books that I wasn't planning on getting. Well, technically this is a lie. No, it's a lie, guys. There's a third one, The Fall of Icarus. This one I almost ordered on Amazon, but I just haven't taken the time to do it. It's by Ovid. It's not even a classic. It's just like a myth, like a everybody know kind of myth. Everybody knows about Icarus. I have a particular obsession about Icarus. I named my male protagonist of my first novel after him, but I named him Icaraz with a O and a Z instead of Rus. It's Icaraz. So that's the only change I did, but he is inspired by The Fall of Icarus, and I follow that myth. I take certain inspirations and, you know, the kind of, not exactly the timeline, but I guess the plot outline and very vital elements of the myth. So yeah, it's a Penguin Classics. It's one of those really small ones. This is number 73. And yeah, I wanted to have like the myth in hand, physical copy, like kind of read it. Maybe, I haven't read it in a while, so I would like to reread it, maybe get a little fresh take on it. And yeah, I think there's like a automatic vending machine, and I don't know if it's the US, it's probably the UK, and I think they have one with either the orange penguin books or it's the small black ones, which I've never seen one. I would like to see that. That would be like a dream. Imagine we have that in Paris. That would be incredible. The next one I got is by my favorite classical author, Virginia Woolf. I love this copy. There's a bunch of these kinds of copies, like with the white and the red, and I obviously chose one of Virginia Woolf because I've read most of her stuff, but she obviously wrote a bunch of small things as well, including A New Dress. I haven't read that one, so I got it, and it's Yeah, it's a penguin archive. So beautiful. I love. And then we got, same thing, it was like great ideas penguin books. And they were all in these kinds of formats or colors. And I was really drawn to this one. You can see the pattern and stuff. And then you can see on the back always like which ones they have within this kind of category. And I got Meditations by Renee. Well, why am I saying this in an English accent? Renee Descartes. She's French, obviously. I think it's a girl. And it's called, well, it says here, What is a Human Being? So it discusses widely regarded as the father of... Okay, it's a man. Anyway, why would I think it's a woman? Like, of course, it's a male philosopher. Because men think so much. Widely regarded as the father of modern Western philosophy, Descartes, you probably don't say the S, Descartes, sought to look beyond established ideas and create a thought system based on reason. In this profound work, he meditates on doubt, the human soul, God, truth, and the nature of existence itself. Love a good philosopher book. Even if it's a man. It's always interesting to see what people thought, you know, how they shaped our history and the way we discuss the world. Sometimes it's thoughts I had when I was 5, but sometimes it's a fresh new thing that I maybe didn't really think about, or provokes a question I didn't really think about before. Last book I got, I think I've seen this cover around, but I didn't really know what it was about, and I wasn't really planning on getting it. It's called Love, Sex, and Frankenstein. I think is it queer? Or is it not? No, maybe it's not queer. Maybe I'm mistaking it for something else. It's 18-year-old Mary Shelley has fled. Oh, right. No, yeah, it's like a fictional, like same thing, like a fictional speculation about Mary Shelley and her husband, Percy Shelley, right? Because he was a poet. So she has fled London with her lover, poet Percy Shelley, and her sister Claire. Tormented by Shelley's betrayals, haunted by the loss of their baby, and suspicious of her sister's intentions, Mary seeks sanctuary. But Lord Byron... No, wait. Oh, yeah, I'm stupid. Wait, no, am I stupid? I don't understand. Yeah, no, she was married to Byron. So is this a speculative, like, kind of romance about how they could have gone together? But Lord Byron's villa... But who is Percy Shelley? Is that her brother? No, it says her lover. I don't understand. I need to refresh my memory on this story. She was married to a man named Byron, wasn't she? Anyway, they go to his villa. When Byron suggests each guest writes a supernatural tale, Mary is drawn to the challenge as she is unexpectedly to Byron himself. Okay, and so an idea begins to form her mind. It spills out on her in thick black ink. A thing given life is before her. Day and night she is possessed, heart, mind, body, and soul. But is she in control, or is it? Interesting. So it's when she wrote Frankenstein. Yeah, and then she married Byron, right? Is Percy her, like... Oh, did she marry Percy and then, like, Byron? Anyway. Interesting. Very interesting. I like the cover, to be honest. I like the screen with the... Yeah. So this is by Caroline Leah. Slay. Love that for you, Caroline Leah. Next, we went to a... it's called Word on the Water. So it's like a bookstore that's in a boat by the water. It's right behind St. Pancras, which is like the central station. And I've always wanted to go, and I never had the time to go. So this time I really, really wanted to go. And it was really nice. It was really like calming and just like atmospheric to be able to go through books like on a little boat and everything. It was super chill, super cute. And the first book I got there was Giovanni's Room by James Baldwin. And this one I bought in London, a different copy, a different cover and everything, in Gay's The Word, which is another bookstore, a queer bookstore. And then it was in a luggage that I lost and never got back. So I had to get it again. I didn't have time to read it. And I love this cover though. It's really, really pretty. It's by this man here. Can we see this man? Hello? Well, okay, it's by this man here. Or is that James Baldwin? Maybe that's James that's James Baldwin. Yeah. Okay. It's a queer story anyway. I think it's in Paris. A young American in the 1950s named David. He's in Paris. He's waiting for his fiancée to return from vacation in Spain. But when he meets Giovanni, a handsome Italian barman, the two men are drawn into an intense affair. After 3 months, David's fiancée returns, and denying who he is, he rejects Giovanni's for a safe future as a married man. Right, his fiancée is a woman in Spain. Okay. It is a decision that will bring tragedy. Yeah, so it's a queer story. And I've heard a lot about it. I've heard it's great. I think it's sad. All queer stories tend to be sad, especially in the 1950s. But, yeah, the cover illustration is by Victoria Sodden. So I don't assume that's this man. I assume this is James Baldwin. So perfect. I'm so excited to finally read it. Try not to lose this copy. Then I got a Wordsworth Classics. I have one, I think, of Monte Cristo. And maybe another one, Jane Eyre. They're really pretty. This is The Professor by not Jane Austen. Charlotte Bronte, who wrote Wuthering Heights. And it sounded really intriguing. I never really heard of this one. No, fuck, she wrote Jane Eyre. And it was Emily Bronte that wrote Wuthering Heights. Sorry. So she wrote Jane Eyre, which is as lovely as Wuthering Heights. And this is her first novel. Okay, yeah. I don't know why I'm acting surprised as I'm reading this, because I read the back cover as I didn't know the story to see if it was nice, like worth getting. And so I was intrigued by the back, but obviously I don't remember it because, okay, it was her first novel in which she audaciously inhabits the voice and the consciousness of a man, William Crimsworth. Already there you got me, because that's really interesting. Like Jane Eyre, he is parentless, like Lucy Snow in Villette. He leaves the certainties of England to forge a life in Brussels, but as a man, William has freedom of action, and as a writer, Bronte is correspondingly liberated, exploring the relationship between power and sexual desire. William's first-person narration reveals his attraction to the dominating directness of the girls' schools where he teaches, played out in the school's secret garden. Balanced against this is his more tempered relationship with one of his pupils, Francis Henry, in which mastery and submission interplay. The Professor was published only after Charlotte Bronte's death. Today it gives us a fascinating insight into the first stirrings of her supreme creative imagination. Really excited to read this one. It's complete and unabridged, which is always a great thing. So yeah, then I got 3 books that, like I said, I would not have gotten anyway. Well, I wouldn't have gotten The Professor either. So sometimes it's like books that are known or like fictional, because that's what I tend to read. I like fiction, like fantasy classics, but still fiction nonetheless. But now I got what I like understand as more like learning and kind of like, you know, like so how do you say, like subjective? No, you don't say that. Like about a subject, so you can like learn to read about something specific. And that's always fun to get in a bookstore where there's a lot of options, because you can find like specific things, like for example, The History of Magic, from alchemy to witchcraft, from the Ice Age to the present, by Chris Costin. So that's just interesting to learn about, to read about something, a specific subject. Then I got, of course, Shakespearean on life and language in times of disruption. So this is what I understand, a sort of like analysis of how Shakespeare has affected us in writing, and how his let me just read on the backside so I can maybe find some words direct from the book. But like, he argues that Shakespeare's words and ideas are nothing less than the eternal key to our shared humanity. So how he shaped history, shaped the human species, and how we think and how we act, maybe. Interesting. I'm not a huge fan of Shakespeare's writing. Well, like, I respect it as any person interested in literature, and specifically English literature, but I never really found his plays compelling. But that's just because I don't like playwriting. So I think his stories are great, but I just don't and I like what they provoke. You know, for example, The Tempest, his last play, that was probably the one I enjoyed in terms of like discussions. Like then we have Romeo and Juliet, iconic. Hamlet, great. But so it's not like I don't respect his work. It's more that I'm not a play read enjoyer. Like poems too. Like I love poets and poetry and the idea, but I don't like reading it. Like I hate reading it actually, and I don't get it, and I don't really write poetry. But I appreciate it as an art form, and I love the expression of it when others write it, but I just don't really enjoy maybe like buying it, consuming it, and like investing myself in it, like and analyzing it. But I've written a few poems in my life that I really enjoy, but it doesn't come naturally to me. It's not really the way my brain works. My brain works very much like Stream of Consciousness, Virginia Woolf, where I just kind of like puke things out and they just come in one long paragraph rather than like in small divided carefully crafted chosen sentences. That's not me, the way I express myself. So either way, but I'm really interested in Shakespeare's like history, his life, you know, like I said, how he shaped the world and everything with his writing and the kind of writer he was. So that's why I like to learn about it. It's interesting. Makes you understand a lot about writing and stuff like that. So talking of that, John York. Oh yeah, this book was by Robert McCrum, by the way. Anyway, this is by John York. And I have a novella called Into the Woods, which is obviously a famous play that I haven't seen. Need to see that. And this is how stories work and why we tell them. So it's similar, like how I think he analyzes the screenplay of, well, it's not a screenplay, is it? It's a play, like a theater play. The play play. And like how they function, and I think he uses Into the Woods as an example. But just like talking about like how he's the creator of BBC's Writers Academy, and he has, oh, is he the one who did it? Did Into the Woods? Really? Maybe. It says, John York, creator of the BBC's Writers Academy, has brought a vast array of drama to British scenes. And he's one of them, Into the Woods. Is that why it's like on the title and also surely a subject of the book? Here he takes us on a journey to the heart of storytelling, revealing that there truly is an unifying shape to narrative forms, one that echoes the fairy tale journey into the woods, and like any great art, comes from the deep within. From ancient myths to big budget blockbusters, he gets to the root of the stories and that are all around us every day. We all love stories, but why do we tell them, and why do all stories function in an eerily similar way? Very interesting for someone who not only appreciates literature but writes it. I have to hurry up, my camera is losing its battery. Then I went to Oxford, which was beautiful and great. I loved it. I need to go back. And I visited the first bookstore, oh my god, I forgot the name. It's the first bookstore that was ever opened in the UK, which is incredible. Anyway, and I got, well, I didn't get that many. I got 5 books there. So I got The Power of Language, Multilingualism, Self and Society by Viorica Marianne. And it's a Pelican book, and I love the turquoise design of it. That's why I chose one that I thought sounded interesting. And I always think, I'm not a big fan of linguistics. I hated it when I had to study that, but I did choose in my 3rd year to finish my bachelor, I did choose to focus on literature instead of linguistics, but it's still interesting, you know, how languages affect us, and especially when you speak multiple languages, why you should learn languages, all that kind of stuff. Then I got a Oxford introduction book. I got a very short introduction of love. That's always cute. I thought this was funny. Ronald de Sousa. So there's a bunch of, these very short introductions about different subjects and different people who wrote them. And this is brilliant, sharp, and inspiring, it says on the back, so I trust that. Then I got this for £6. It's called Alchemy, Writers on Truth, Lies, and Fiction. Vision is out there, and we will walk, hobby, swim, or crawl to find it. introduced by Ian Sinclair. And lastly, this was a gift for Lucas, but I'm gonna read it anyway. It's The Letters of J.R. Tolkien, revised and expanded edition. So that's just like super interesting if you're into the Lord of the Rings, which both of us are, especially Lucas, and me as a fantasy girly, obviously. It's super cool. And he was a student and professor at Oxford, which I didn't know, together with C.S. Lewis. I knew they were friends, but I didn't know that they went there and were professors there. And I got to see the lamppost that supposedly inspired him in Narnia, and like C.S. Lewis. And then I got this copy of The Hobbit, because I got him special copies that I bought from Vinted for Christmas of the Lord of the Rings trilogy, but I didn't get The Hobbit, so I decided to gift him this one. It's really beautiful, illustrated and everything. So, okay, so I did end up getting interrupted by my camera battery, but I charged it now, so I should be able to finish this video without losing my breath. And meanwhile, I looked up some clarifications. So it was called Blackwell, so I was almost there. Or was it what I said? Anyway, it's called Blackwell's. Really cool experience. It was huge. I could have spent days there. Like, I'm so mad I don't live close to Oxford, because I would go all the time and buy all these books, and it was great, and they had so many cool things and so many, every single genre possible and every single, you know, edition possible. Well, that's not true. I was looking for Michael Jackson's Moonwalk and I couldn't find it, so they didn't have it, which was a bit of a fail. But either way, the second thing I looked up was the story about Mary Shelley. So she was married to the poet Percy, but then she was supposedly involved with Lord Byron afterwards, or they, anyway, like in this, what I assume is then, like, there's truth to this, but then she like spans on top of it, like Maggie did with Hamnet. That they did spend like a lot of time, the four of them, like, so Mary and her sister Claire, which was involved with Byron, and then she was married to Percy, like Mary, and then they spent the time, like a summer together at Lord Byron's house, and that's when, like, he was like, let's do a writing competition or something, and then she started Frankenstein, and so he's like kind of like the one that like inspired her to do that, but like she did that all by herself. Either way, and I guess this was then brought up again when the movie came out now on Netflix, and they finished it with a Byron quote, because yeah, but I couldn't really understand if they, so I guess that's speculative, if they were involved or not after Percy passed away, that they had like a romantic relationship. I guess in this book they will be, if you know what I mean. But anyway, let's move on. So I wanted to show you guys the postcards. Before I do that, I just wanted to show the playing cards I got for Lucas as a gift. So I went to a store called Scriptum in Oxford, which makes beautiful different things like journals and postcards and stuff like that, and these are handmade with a linen finish. And you can see the designs on the back here, so it's kind of like the woods and plants and animals and stuff. And he collects playing cards, which I contribute to thoroughly. I get him a lot of different kinds of playing cards. So that was that. I also got him a souvenir, so London socks. Very cutesy. Very cutesy. And then in Oxford as well, I got this bookmark. So pretty. It's pink. It's Oxford in gold. It has this little thing here. Then I got in the South Bank Book Market, I got this postcard. It's a castle from, like, in Scotland. Can you guys see? Is it focusing? Called Dunkeld. Oh, it's a cathedral. Dunkeld Cathedral. I got this postcard in just like a bookstore in the train station. It has two fishes on them. In Down Books, I got this one. So it shows like Down Books, the store. Got this one. It's like a little breakfast presentation. Really, really cute. I love. Has a penguin classic book there. I got this postcard in the, what I assume was the National Theatre, but I could be so wrong, babe. I didn't look that up. And it says, "You are in my superhero circle." I think that's so cute. It's painted by this guy on the back, and it's like a collection of art that has been made by people with like physical difficulties. So that was really cute. And I got this one in scriptum. It's Oxford postcard. And of course a London postcard. Really cute. And that's all, guys. I want to show you the 2 key rings that I got. I got one for my camera bag, which is right there, and one for my regular bag, and then I got 2 magnets, one from Oxford and one from London, but my battery's about to die again, so we're just gonna have to live in the unknown for that part. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. I always enjoy making a haul. I think it's super fun. And yeah, thank you for watching. Bye!